Hello, I'm Harry for the TV. Remember it? No, you don't have to. And welcome to a new series called Creepypasta Analysis. The series where I analyze the creepypasta characters and study them and study their psychology. But most of all, study them as characters and the potential that they have. Also, a quick side note, this series will not contain characters like Slenderman, Zargo, or Smile Dog because they don't really have an origin or a reason for doing what they do. They are seemingly just an evil force set to threaten humankind. And also, this series will not contain Marky and Hoodie because there are just different versions of those characters, and Marky and Hoodie are technically not creepypastas, so I will not be including them. I know a lot of people think that they're creepypastas, but they actually stem from an original series called Marble Hornets, which I will not be analysing because there's like 87 episodes. Nor do they eat cheesecake. Bam, I said it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nina the Killer is a Jeff the Killer fangirl turned serial killer who tries to copy Jeff in every way, even down to the ones who bully her. Now, at first glance, this could be seen as lazy writing, but I think the story was just executed poorly, and there was a lot of potential in Nina to be a complete satire of Jeff the Killer fangirls in general, and fanboys. The main problem was that Nina just fell into the category of being another creepypasta OC, and failed to stand out from the others. There was a lot of potential for her to become a serial killer that idolizes Jeff the Killer, and that's actually quite realistic in today's time. There are genuinely people who idolize and simp for serial killers for some reason. Now, I'm not saying that Nina the Killer is an underrated gem or a misunderstood masterpiece. In fact, she's quite the opposite. But, if done right, she can be written quite well. For example, in Banning Cave's Jeff the Killer series, there is a version of Nina that is pretty much the embodiment of a Jeff the Killer supporter. Although she's not an entirely Jeff the Killer copycat, she does carry her trait of idolizing and wanting to be like the serial killer. She's also psychotically bubbly and mischievous, and even though this is a very different version of Nina the Killer, she does carry the original Nina's iconic traits as a character, down to being a bubbly, psychotic fangirl. There are also other interpretations you could do with Nina the Killer, while also keeping within the theme of her character. You could have her be a Harley Quinn type of character where she meets Jeff, who is still her idol, and she falls in love with him and he uses that to his advantage. I mean, people already like comparing Jeff the Killer to the Joker, so why don't people embrace that and give him a Harley Quinn in Nina the Killer? To me, Nina the Killer is not just a shitty Jeff the Killer OC. There's a lot more you could do with her character. To me, Nina the Killer is a girl trapped in a fantasy, idolizing for someone she can't have, and someone who she shouldn't really be crushing on, and that, to me, is heavily relatable, especially for me as of late. Another way you could interpret Nina the Killer is it doesn't have to be romantic. She could literally just be a supporter in what he does. You don't automatically have to make them romantic partners. You could just have it where they are both willing in what they do, and Nina could just be a really sadistic coward who would be willing to do anything in Jeff the Killer's honor. You don't have to make her romantic. You could just make her really clingy, and really, if anything, just a clingy, snivelling coward in a similar vein to Bellatrix Lestrange or Peter Pettigrew from Harry Potter. But what do you think? Do you agree on my thoughts on Nina the Killer? Or do you just think she's an absolute dumpster fire with no potential? Let me know in the comments. To me, Nina the Killer is just a poorly utilized character, and there is a lot of missed potential in her. A lot of people just seem to make her a Jeff the Killer copycat and don't realise the potential she could have as a character. But tell me what your thoughts are. What do you think? I'd be interested to see your own analysis or your own thoughts on the character of Nina the Killer. Heck, I've always wondered what a Nina the Killer live action film would look like, where people tap into that psychology. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm Harry for the TV. Remember, you don't have to.